Welcome back, designers, to Silvia Designs. I'm Kat, and today I have a trend alert for you. We are going to be making a Lark's head knot necklace using leather cord. Once you learn how to do a Lark's head knot, you'll be able to incorporate that into your other designs as well. If you are looking for any of the items or tools used in this video, I've put them down in the description box below. Before we dive in, please make sure you are subscribed and you hit the notification bell so you can see my brand new videos every single week. All right, let's learn how to make a Lark's head knot. Let's begin by talking about the items that you're going to need to complete this necklace. I have my 1.5 millimeter leather cord here. We're going to be using some E6000, and these are just a couple of toothpicks, and I have a little sticky note there, and that's just going to help me protect my work surface as I use that glue. I have my end caps with my clasp already attached. This comes all in one piece. And then I have these 4 little rings here, and I'm going to choose a size, but I wanted to show you the 4 different sizes that you get with that product that I'm going to link down below for you. And then I have a few tools. I have some scissors. You can also use flush cutters for this as well. And then I have a ruler here because we're going to talk a little bit about sizing. So let's start by talking about this 1.5 millimeter leather cord. Now you can see that mine is fairly relaxed here, and the reason I did that is I want it to hang nicely. So sometimes you'll get them and they're really tightly coiled and they sort of stay like that. The best way to relax your cord is just to kind of give it a little gentle tug, kind of run it through your fingers. You know, don't forget leather does have a little bit of spring to it, so you can kind of just do this and just run it through all the way down to the end. Now I obviously have more leather cord here than I'm going to be using in this project, but I just had this sort of 2-yard coil, so I'm just going to let that relax. See how it's nice and relaxed there? It still has a little bit of a bend, but that will relax as you wear it. Okay, so let's sort of set that back over here. Now I want to talk about these little rings here. Like I said, you get all 4 different sizes with your purchase down below, and I got these on Amazon, and they are just really beautiful. They have a little bit of interest to them. You can kind of see that they're like twisted around. What I love about these is I can use them in different ways, but I wanted to use, I think I'm going to end up going with this size. So it's the second largest size, or I guess second to last largest size. They sort of go like that if you're being particular. But I thought this would be really cool because I was thinking actually about creating a little tiered pair of earrings, maybe to use in a different design that would sort of go with this so it all matches together. But I think this is a really nice, big, beautiful size. And if you're curious just to kind of see it on camera, it's a little over an inch in diameter there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these out of my workspace because I'm going to use them for another project. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that on this channel. And then I want to talk a little bit about my little clasp here. So I'm going to have my clasp. Let me just kind of move some tools out of the way. I want to talk about sizing. So when I put my ruler right up to edge, it's about 1.25 inches. That's what I'm looking at. But don't forget that leather is going to fit inside of that end. So we really, I know it doesn't seem like much, but when you I'm going to put my little nail right there. So when you take it out, you have all that little extra space. Now, if you're trying to get this fairly precise, that might not seem, too bad, but just something to take into consideration when you are doing your sizing. So we want to move that clasp. So we're really focusing on the size difference between that jump ring and that jump ring right there. So we're a little over 1/2 inch. So that does make a difference if you are trying to get a very specific size, or if you're trying to allow, if this is a design style that you want to sell and you're going to use this type of clasp, it's just something to consider. Now you can also add a chain extender on this side as well, and I have a video and I'll link that above for you, but you can always add a chain extender if you are planning on selling it. That way you give your customers a little bit of an option. Okay, speaking of the length here, when we go to make our Lark's head knot, which you're going to see in just a minute, I want to let you know that the Lark's head knot takes up about 2 inches. So I have 12 inches, and I'm going to go to 8 inches here. So that will give me 20 inches because I want to make an 18-inch necklace. Make sense? All right. So you can use your scissors or your flush cutters for this. And I'm just going to cut off my leather. Nice straight cut right across. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to set my ruler aside now. And I'll go ahead and set these aside. I'm done with them. So let's clear our space just a little bit so we can learn how to do this lark's head knot. Okay, so I have my cord all in one. I'm going to bring the two ends together and go all the way down here to the loop at the bottom. And I'm going to give it a little tug. Let's keep stretching that leather out, make sure it's nice and relaxed. So with my fingers, I'm going to hold my loop just like this. I'm going to place it behind my hoop and fold it up and over, okay? Just like that. And now I'm going to reach through and take these two cords and pull them through. And now I'm going to pull this down snug. Right? And you can see I can just sort of help it with my finger a little bit. And that is how you make a lark's head knot, okay? What I don't want to happen, and I'm going to show this to you on my little scrap piece here and my bigger one here, is when you bring those cords together down at the bottom and you have your loop, so I'll just kind of show you again, and then you bring those cords through, what can happen is you'll either get something where those little cords will cross over so it looks more like a pretzel. So when you go to pull it together, you'll kind of get these, what I call like the kind of Mickey Mouse ears right there. So you want to make sure that those two cords are separate so you have something that looks a little bit more similar to that. So I'll just kind of show you from a different angle. So you want to make sure it looks more like the laces on a basketball, if that makes sense for you. So this is kind of that 360 of how you want your piece to be before you pull it nice and snug. And it should fit right together there. You can sort of pinch it together with your fingers just to make sure that it's going to fit nice and snug. Now, I'm going to set this piece aside, go back to my original piece here that I'm working on. This is pretty secure because the leather is sort of tight in and of itself. I would not add any glue or anything to this. This is going to be as strong as you're going to want it, right? Now, you can let the necklace lay this way. So if my hand here was like your body, you can let it lay this way, or you can let it lay this way. Wow, I didn't think I'd have to say that 10 times fast. All right, I like it this way. I think it kind of shows the pretty knot in the front, but it's really dealer's choice, and the only difference is that how you're going to do your clasp here. So let's turn it around. Let's pretend like we're kind of putting it on ourselves. And here's a little designer tip for you. If you want, typically, I will say this, I know my brother's left-handed, so, typically you're going to want the clasp to be in your right hand as you are putting it on. That is just kind of a standard way to do it. So that's how I'm going to do it here. If you like it the other way, no worries. Do what you feel is right, but if you are selling it, this is typically the little designer way to do it. I'll say that. Okay, so now we are going to work with E6000. Let's have a quick chat about E6000. I like these little tubes. Why? Because they're easily portable, but also because these tubes, I find that E6000, because it has such a high viscosity, it will dry out a little bit faster than, let's say, your GS Hypo Cement or something like that. But E6000 is my go-to when I'm working with leather. Now, if I'm working with more of a fabric cord, like a Griffin silk, then I would use the GS Hypo Cement. It is totally dealer's choice. Both will work, but I like the E6000 for this particular application. You'll see me use GS Hypo Cement in other designs as well. All right, so when you open your fresh tube, just like that, you will have to poke it with the end. So you can see that there's a little sort of sharp edge in the end. So we're just gonna poke through. There we go. And you see some glue start to already come out. Now this is where I like to use that little sticky note pad. And we're just gonna get a little dollop of glue out there. And again, protecting our glue, protecting our surface. Let's close that up right away. Now come in with your toothpick, and you can see I just sort of twist it around a little bit. I want to get it on all sides of my toothpick because I'm going to then press it down into the well there, and I want to get that glue down in there as far as I possibly can, right? And kind of wiggle it around, just making sure that that glue is nice and tight in there, okay? Now, the other thing you can do is you can dip just the little end here, so we get a little bit of glue onto the end of our leather, and now we're going to sneak it into that cord end. Now I'm going to hold this for just a second and just kind of keep it pressed together. The other thing you can do is you can release this side, so we let them sort of dry separately. But I'm just going to leave that together, just like so, and let that hang out. And before the glue dries on this side, we want to make sure we can get this side taken care of as well. This is a great little piece of a clasp that I found. Again, I found it on Amazon, and it comes all together in one. So you know that all of that, sorry, I'm just scraping up a little, I got a little excited there. Had some glue on the end. So, but it comes together in one nice little clasp, so all that metal actually matches, which is really nice. Oh, see, protect your work surface. All right, and then just a little bit on this side here. You can already see that that glue is starting to dry. So it does dry fairly quickly, which is why I always recommend that you put your cap back on. Excuse me. All right, so now I'm just letting this guy dry. Now, if you want to, I'm going to just sort of fold this up here and set this aside to my little scrap area that you can't see. The magic of YouTube. All right, and now I'm going to set these guys on top of here because, again, I don't want that glue to get onto my work surface. But in essence, that is how you would make the Lark's head knot. Again, it is a wonderful little thing that I keep seeing. You can use all different sorts of things with this. If you have a charm that has a large enough hoop on the top, you can use this technique for that as well. It's a great little design and really customizable. It's kind of a wonderful thing to have if you do any work with leather. I've also seen it where people will add gemstones. You can add various things. This is obviously done with leather, but if you did have a different cord, you can add different things along that way as well. Now, let's say you wanted to add a different kind of clasp or a little chain extender. You can absolutely do that on this side. You can open up these little jump rings here that come with it, and you can add a chain or you can add a different kind of clasp. Let's say you want to add your signature clasp. You can absolutely do that as well.
Thanks so much for watching, designers. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And remember, all of the items used in today's video are down in that description box for you. If you have any questions, or if you have a video idea or a technique that you want to learn more about, drop it in a comment and let me know. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.